Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. This is Brother Yachanan from the GMS Houston camp, and this is just a quick lesson. I got a video to play. I'm not going to play the whole thing, probably about 3-4 minutes of it, but this is pretty much just continuing from a lesson I did a few days ago, going into prisoners, like a proposal that prisoners receive a micro CEHA. And this is a TV slot. I believe this is from, where is this, Australia? This morning. I'm not really sure where this is from. ITV, the UK. Okay, so this is from the UK. So the same, excuse me, Slovakia, the same place where it was said where they did these kind of proposals, but just jumping right into it.
Nick somewhere in his studio because he's not quite there yet. But actually, we're going to start with you because I know that Nick will have been discussing this all morning as well. Criminals are being suggested, or the suggestions are they could be tracked with tags to monitor them after their release. Some sort of microchip inserted under the skin to keep tabs on them. I think it was the security companies talking about what best way it is we can try and sort of keep an eye on what's happening once somebody comes out of prison. What was your take on it, Ashley?
You know the bit in the dystopian horror film where the tech billionaires discuss implanting people with microchips? I feel like that's where we are, but just to reassure people, this is a discussion that happened last summer between Lord Timpson, who's the prison minister, and some of the world's biggest tech firms on what a tech-enabled justice system could look like in 2050. So nothing's been decided. They're just putting forward ideas with technology. I think what's really concerning to me is the idea of planting, even if it's offenders, even if it's high offending offenders, the idea of implanting anything into someone's body, it feels like there's so many questions raised about human rights, bodily autonomy, and as we know, what normally starts with some people can be rolled out to others. And do we really want the government surveilling human beings in that way? And we already have the electronic tags, so I'd be interested to know what this technology could offer that the electronic tags don't already. Because, I think just the idea of the state tracking us.
Yeah, because GPS tags currently enable probation and police to track offenders 24/7 and have allowed officers to locate criminals at scenes of crimes by cross-referencing their movements with the timing of an offence such as a burglary. So we've seen that happen and it works.
But my question is, what is the difference between an electronic tag and a microchipping? I think, we all want fewer victims and lower reoffending rates. Oh, here's Nick, looking very dapper.
He does. He looks like he should be on the Riviera, doesn't he?
You just got back from the south of France.
Not in a rainy London.
I'm dressing for where I want to be, not where I find myself. That is the reality of it, team. Morning all, sorry about the delay.
Nick, we need a tag so we can monitor where you are at all times.
I think I could actually hear you. We just had a slight problem with Ben. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry on this one. I totally disagree with Ashley. I think this is a sensational idea. I'm all for it. Where can I sign up? Only, though, for certain crimes. I point you to areas such as if we have a sex offender, if we have a known child sex offender, and we can actually monitor if they're ever going anywhere near a school or whatever it might be. If we have someone who, unfortunately, as and when they get drunk, they decide to get involved in knife fights, and we can monitor when they might be going towards pubs or bars. I think it is not for every criminal. Of course it's not. It's not for someone who does a bit of shop theft or whatever it might be, or doesn't pay their doesn't pay their road fund. But I think there's absolutely a place for this, and I'm ready to go for it.
Why would you prefer that over the existing electronic tags?
They will be so much better. And so tags actually, unfortunately, have been proven that sometimes they are not so effective. And also, I think the deterrent of knowing that something is under your skin and you can't get it out, you can't disarm it, you can't disable it, and it's going to be there, possibly even when you've finished your tagging, i.e. we're going to tag you for 2 years and then the tag comes off. No, actually, we're going to keep this under your skin. We're going to keep this under for 4 years. If you are a sex offender, if you are a repeat criminal, if you continually break into people's homes or get drunk and stab people, good. I do think we need to have a bit more law and order, and obviously need to see the parameters of how it will work. But over lower-level criminals who you genuinely think you have got an opportunity to turn their lives around, absolutely, let's get into education. But even you, Ashley, will have to accept, and most of your viewers, even the most liberal of your viewers, will have to accept there is a hard core of criminals or criminality you are never going to educate your way out. You're just not going to do it. So instead of allowing them to continue to inflict their crimes on us, whether it is being attacked in the street...
So, anyway, that's all I'm going to play from that. A criminal talking about, a criminal talking about criminals. You know, what are we going to do with these people? Microchip them, and hey, this guy is all for it. And so are all these people. The majority of people are going to be overwhelmingly for it. And then I'm trying to remember this, the eyes of the Lord. So, hey, the guy mentioned something, but look at these comments real quick. And Lord willing, I'll come back to it. It says there was one where the person says here the whole point of serving a sentence is that you're punished and given rehabilitation. That should be the point. You go into prison. That's the point of you doing your sentence, doing your time. That's the point of you going to prison so you can be rehabilitated. But hey, that doesn't happen with Esau Edom. And there's plenty of crimes that should have been handled where the people didn't go to prison. There's crimes where the person should have been put to sleep, in other words. Put to death. Put it like that. And then here, there's another comment that says the human body may have an adverse reaction to foreign objects inside the body. And that's true. And Lord will, I'll get the precept for that. But the last one here was at the bottom. It says, as much as I hate criminals, you're a criminal yourself. All of you. Every one of you is a criminal. Just because, just because you keep all the laws of the land wherever you live. Shit, they got so many laws that you breaking them then. But the laws of the earth, the laws that the Heavenly Father had gave for us how to live on the earth. We're breaking every one of them. And a lot of you do it willfully. But it says microchipping is against human rights. So no microchipping under the skin. Are you insane? Seriously, this is ridiculous. Now, I don't know if this person, they seem reasonable. They don't know what this is, what's going on, but they're reasonable. Nah, I don't want to be microchipped. That's a reasonable response. You are not crazy to not want, somebody poking around under your skin. And this guy, whatever that pig, the Edomite pig in a suit, going on about, people would think twice if they had something under their skin. So, matter of fact, let's get this. This is Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 3. It says, why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. So if you woken up to this truth, you're seeing constant violence against the Israelites, constant, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You're seeing a world in disarray. You're seeing a world completely out of order. And this is what we're supposed to see. When you wake up to this truth, you realize that the position that you're in, where you are in the world, at the bottom, that's your fault. But this is how we're seeing when righteousness is moved out of the way and wickedness is allowed to thrive. Therefore, the law is slack and judgment doth never go forth. Because Esau Edom, the wicked, is in rulership. The law is not upheld. Not the laws of the Heavenly Father, but whatever they want to do. Wisdom of Solomon 2, let our might be the, how it says, roughly paraphrasing, let our might be the strength of justice. Therefore, the law is slack and judgment doth never go forth. So judgment is not going out. Proper judgment, where people that are killed, murdered, certain situations, adulterers aren't put to death. Murderers aren't put to death. Moes aren't put to death. Bestiality, zoophilia motherfuckers, they aren't put to death. There's a lot of things that aren't carried out that only breeds more wickedness because it isn't taken care of. Like imagine in your house, you got mold growing. And rather than remove that mold and remove that part of the structure that the mold is growing on, and inspecting the house, you just allow it to grow, and then wondering why you coughing up blood or some shit. Wondering why now you got an autoimmune disease. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. Let me read that one more time. For the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceedeth. So the wicked, we're surrounded on every side by the wicked. And this is a wicked thing that's coming out, this MOTB. And it's being touted as for your safety. All this stuff is putting up for your safety, for the economy, for whatever, for your benefit. Meanwhile, only certain crimes? When's it going to expand? You know, what's going to make you offender? Make you an offender? So let me see. I had what came to mind, eyes of the Lord. Because they using this as, look, we got to put a microchip under your skin and surveil you. Meanwhile, not knowing we got to surveil you. We got to play God. We got to see everything that's going on. This man said, hey, this man really believes that he is a God. And I'm not just saying the man speaking, but those that are all confederate together with this kind of technology, with this NWO, that have this mindset. We need to track everybody. Try to narrow that down. No, that's not. Dang it. How is it worded? Dang, I can't remember how it's worded. Salaki, let me try it like this. All right, I think this is it, but I still might not have it worded right. This is Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. The eyes of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, are in every place. Meaning the angels. The angels are constantly watching. They see everything going on in the earth. There is nothing that can be hid from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is seeing everything. The eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So they see everything that's going on. And the Lord don't need to put a biometric chip to monitor you, to see everything that you're doing, everywhere you're going, all that to see. Here, right here, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 54. Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. So the Lord knows everything. He created us. Let me see what that says in the GNT. Do it like this. 2nd Ezra 16. Lord, 2nd Ezra 16:54. in the GNT, it says, the Lord certainly knows everything that people do. He knows their plans and their innermost thoughts. So the Lord already knows. He don't need Esau just doing too much. He don't need you to look at, he's trying to play God. You don't need to be doing that. But that's Esau. He's going to be doing all that till he gets moved out the way. Let me see here. This is Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. And this is Esau, Edom. This is what he's trying to do. He wants to be the Most High. He wants to show that he's the Most High. So a man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? He wants to put that micro C-hip under you. So now he can be like, no, I see you. I see everything that you're doing because I have that subdermal implant. I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me. And right now he's doing all that. When you got the your modems, the modems and the different things that you have in your house, the routers, your TV, all that stuff tracks your movement, can track your facial movements, your facial patterns. All this stuff is wicked devices that Esau Edom really, he's giving it to you one way. Oh, you can have internet, but really he's fucking studying you. He's tracking you, everything. He's trying to be the Most High. I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts, your inner thoughts. Everything that you got going on. The Most High knows all this stuff. You can't hide it from him. But Esau Edom, he wants this power. And guess what? He's been given this power. He can do that. He can... the algorithms, the stuff that you see when you're looking on Amazon or when you're talking about something, and then next the algorithm changes, and now you're seeing ads for, say like baby wipes or different things like that. This is the way that Esau Edom operates. He wants to be the Most High. But the Most High already sees this. He like I said, it's you don't need to do it. But Esau Edom is just that demon that does too much. Let's see here. I remember I had Revelation 16 because a lady in the comment was mentioning that the foreign objects. This is what's going to happen if you take this, and they're going to make it like you don't have a choice, but it would shit. You either take this or we're going to put you to death, or you're going to be in prison forever. Shit, you don't know that. Shit, with the knowledge that we know, hey, put me to death. I'll be raised from the dead. I'll get a new body. Shit, leave me in prison. I know the accounts, of the apostles that were released from prison, by angels. Do whatever you want to do, because this is your time, Esau Edom. But for sure, not one man of the Lord, not one of the elect is going to take that micro C-hip. So this is Revelation 16 and verse 2. The first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So that noisome and grievous sore that fell upon them which had the mark, which that mark there is charagma, and then when you go into it, it's basically a badge of servitude. But it's that it's what they're talking about in the video. that micro C-hip. This is going to be like the cure-all, the solve-all. This is going to solve the whole world's problems. You know, yeah, we're tracking criminals, but how do you track the criminal? How do you know it's the criminal? Well, it's because it has his ID, it has his prison records, it has all his records on that C-hip. That all you got to do is scan it to bring it up. You know, and it says a stamp and a printed mark. This is G5480 Charagma. And then when you go further into it, it goes into Charax, which is, come on, you gonna click it? Which is G5482 Charax. It says a pail, a stake, or a palisade, which is the delivery agent, like the syringe. This is what it's going to be on. And then G1125 Grapho, which is the information that's written on the micro C-hip. And it's not literally or physically written on there. This is electronic information. You know, this is going to be, all these things are going to require very high speed internet, which is what the 6G is. You know, high speed internet, data centers. This is going to require a lot of power to use this stuff. And why you see, you know, data centers popping up everywhere. Oh, my bad. Let's go back to that Grievous Noisome. It says G2556 Kakos. It says of a bad nature. It's evil, troublesome, injurious, pernicious, destructive, baneful, bad, evil, harm, ill. So this is going to be a terrible sword that you're going to get for taking this. It says Grievous, Poneros, G4190, full of labors, annoyances, of a bad nature. It says in a physical sense, diseased. So you're gonna catch something terrible if you take that micro C-hip. So this is G1668 Helkos. It says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge or pus, a sore, an ulcer. This is a nasty thing. And it's gonna be so obvious that you took that microchip. Then finally here, well, let's go to this. Revelation 14:9. I have Revelation 13:16, but I've been going into it so much. And I just went into Charagma, but this is going to be everybody. Rich, poor, bond, free. When I say bond, looking at the prisoners, looking at slaves, those that can't, just do whatever they want to do, so-called in the free world. You know, bond, free, rich, poor, everybody is going to be, faced with the choice of taking this. This is Revelation 14:9. And this is going to be the outcome if you make the wrong choice. Choose ye this day whom you worship, And the subheader here says, doom for worshipers of the beast. Revelation 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you here in Babylon the Great, you're gonna be right there when the nukes drop. You're gonna be here when it's gonna be bad for you. When the angels, when Yahushua returns, zapping stuff, it's gonna suck for you. But hey, guess what? At least you got to eat the bug sticks or whatever. The bug bar, the cricket bar. Yeah, there you go. Whatever. At least you got to eat all that. At least you got to whatever the fuck you get to do. At least you got to fucking, put your nose in Esau's ass one last time. It's like it. It says, the same shall The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And their smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So this place is going to be burning for a very long time. It's like it. Let me see. Where is it? Well, it goes into the elect. Hey, but pretty much the elect, starting with the 144,000, they're not going to take this. They're not going to fall for the okie doke. They're not going to fall for peace and safety. You know, hey, none of this. They're not going to be moved by this. So, hey, Lord willing, this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakachodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom.